No place in America is more strongly associated with her immigrant history than New York's Ellis Island. Some 12 million immigrants began life in their new country there. For many of them, their first glimpse of America was the Statue of Liberty. Their aspirations were captured by the words engraved on a bronze plaque in the statue's pedestal. "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free." The land of the free was a land of hope for immigrants from every corner of the world. Above all places in America, Ellis Island was their portal of freedom and hope. Ellis Island started as a small island surrounded by tidal flats and oyster beds. Through extensive landfill, it grew from a 3.5-acre island to 27.5 acres. The first immigrant processed at Ellis Island was Annie Moore, a 17-year-old Irish immigrant who came to live with her parents. They had arrived in Manhattan 3 years earlier. Accompanied by her two younger brothers, Anthony and Philip, she departed from Queenstown in County Cork aboard the steamship Nevada on December 20th, 1891. After a 12-day journey, the 17-year-old Annie arrived in New York Harbor late at night on New Year's Eve, 1891. Along with the other passengers, the Moore siblings spent the rest of the night aboard the Nevada. The next day was New Year's Day, 1892, when Ellis Island opened for the first time. A ferry dropped Annie and her brothers at the landing bureau. As the first immigrant to enter the new facility, Annie was handed a $10 gold coin. The three Moore children were soon reunited with their parents. Their home was at 32 Monroe Street in the Two Bridges area on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, where there were hundreds of 5- to 6-story tenement buildings that housed immigrant families. 3 years after she arrived, Annie Moore married 19-year-old Joseph Augustus Scheyer, the son of German Catholic immigrants. Joseph worked as a salesman at the Fulton Fish Market, the largest wholesale seafood market in America. The couple had 11 children, but only 5 survived to adulthood. Annie died in 1924 at the Scheyers' home on Cherry Street, just a few blocks from the first tenement apartment she shared with her parents and brothers on Monroe. She was 50 years old. Annie is honored today by 2 statues erected in her memory. The Moores and the Scheyers were part of an immigration wave that dramatically changed New York. By 1910, 75% of the city's population were immigrants or children of immigrants. Many neighborhoods were markedly identifiable by language, religion, food, and customs. There was Little Italy, the heart of which lay on Mulberry Street in Manhattan. Hell's Kitchen, the largely working-class neighborhood on Manhattan's west side, between 34th and 59th Streets, was home to a substantial Irish-American population. A concentrated section of the Lower East Side of Manhattan was known as the world's largest Jewish city, populated as it was with Jewish immigrant families largely from Eastern Europe. The Lower East Side was filled with synagogues, yeshivas, kosher delis, and Yiddish newspapers. Second Avenue became Yiddish Broadway, lined with theaters presenting dramas, comedies, and musicals. For many new Americans, the voyage to New York was difficult. Italian immigrant Frank Capra recounted his own voyage in 1903. "I celebrated my 6th birthday in the black, dark hold of a ship, crammed with retching, praying, miserable people." Capra went on to become one of America's most iconic Hollywood directors. His filmography includes It Happened One Night and It's a Wonderful Life. Approximately 2% of the 12 million immigrants processed at Ellis Island were denied admission and returned to their countries of origin. Reasons for denial included serious contagious disease or disabling medical condition, likely financial dependence on the public, a criminal record, or failure to meet changing federal immigration requirements. Some groups were restricted at all-American entry points: Japanese laborers in 1907 and Asians in general in 1917. In 1921, Congress limited what members of both major parties considered to be undesirable elements, mainly Southern and Eastern Europeans, many of whom were Jewish, Catholic, or Eastern Orthodox. Still, in Ellis Island's busiest years, 98% of new arrivals were admitted. Some of the most famous immigrants who entered America by way of Ellis Island included Father Edward J. Flanagan, the Irish-born Catholic priest who founded Nebraska's Boys Town for homeless and at-risk youth; Irving Berlin, the Russian-born Jew who composed some of America's greatest hits, White Christmas and God Bless America; the poet Khalil Gibran came to Ellis Island from Lebanon, which at the time was part of the Ottoman Empire; the actor Cary Grant and the entertainer Bob Hope, both of whom came from England.
Yeah, you're tougher than I thought. They're really tough. I asked one guy if he'd seen John Wayne, and he said, "John Wayne, who's she?"
Golda Meir, the future Prime Minister of Israel, arrived from Russia, and Claudette Colbert, who became a leading Hollywood actress, came from France. Legendary Notre Dame football coach Knut Rockne hailed from Norway. The Greek Tom Carvel founded Carvel Ice Cream Company and was a pioneer in soft serve. The Italian immigrant Cesar Cardini became a restaurateur and creator of the Caesar salad. The Czechoslovak-born Michael Strank became one of 6 Marines who raised the flag at Iwo Jima. Ellis Island closed its doors in 1954, but not before it had played a remarkable role in America's story. It was the first and largest federal immigrant processing station in America. From 1892 to 1924, it was the nation's busiest immigration station. In 1907 alone, over 1 million immigrants began their new life by entering America through the doors of Ellis Island. In the broader history of American immigration, beginning in 1820, America became the #1 destination in the world for immigrants seeking a new life. And since 1776, America has admitted somewhere over 91 million lawful immigrants, more than any other nation in recorded history.